how are our relationships, and especially intimate relationships, how are they important resources for us to really get to know ourselves?
When we relate to people, they are mirrors where we can see what we cannot see by ourselves. Maybe it's repressed or maybe it's hidden. Let's say if you live by yourself, you say, hey, my life is fantastic because I do what I want. And then you meet somebody and then you start to feel probably jealousy and you start to feel sometimes the need of controlling. Before, you didn't see these, let's say, programs that were there. Let's say you are a perfectionist and then you see another perfectionist and you start to, oh, look at this. And then you see, oh, I'm criticizing what I have inside. You see these mirrors, you can actually clean on the program. First, you need to know which programming.
So actually a relationship, intimate relationship, would be a big opportunity for all of us for healing.
Exactly.
Welcome everyone to the newest episode of the Bridging Podcast, a podcast where you can learn, practice, and transform in any area of your life if you do the work. I'm today together with José Antonio Manchado. José, welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure to be here, also, and thank you for inviting me.
Muchísimas gracias. José Antonio Manchado is author of the book Be Happier Than the Dalai Lama. I have it here in my hands. And his latest book is Are You Ill? Congratulations. And actually, very important to mention, the subtitle of the book, Be Happier Than the Dalai Lama, is The Wisdom of the Great Masters applied to the modern world. So if you are living in the modern world right now, this book might be for you. So Jose is a master of Tibetan energetic healing. And he is giving workshops, retreats, and courses in different parts of the world. Jose, let's start with actually the first question. What is Tibetan energetic healing?
Tibetan energetic healing is a combination of three different systems. Basically, we use universal energy to heal. Plus, we also play with the vibration, with the energy of the body. Even we can actually talk and connect with the organs in the body. We can use energetic holograms to transform your whole system, your whole mindset. Because when we talk to people about, okay, you have to change this, you have to change that, they don't actually get it, because what they actually perceiving is through their own belief system, so it doesn't go through. But energetically wise, you can dissolve these programs, and it's so fun to see in 1 minute or seconds how a person transforms like that. And they can do it by themselves. They apply to themselves, to others, distant healing, and it's a lot of fun. So basically, that's the summary of Tibetan energetics.
So, but for how does it actually work for the people that have maybe an abstract idea about it? Like, is it like that someone is laying down there or sitting there in stillness, and then you give them healing through an energy, or how does it work in practice?
Yeah, it's not as serious, because people they think about, when we're talking about energetic healing and stuff, that you have to be, like in a particular spot. You can apply even walking. You can apply even if you are lying down, or if you're seated, or if you are in a meditation pose, or if you are just dancing. And the key here is the life energy that enters through the person who is living out of fear. When you're living out of fear, you're just living yourself out of separation. Then all sickness, all kind of discomfort that are telling you, hey, come back to your home, which is oneness. So yeah, but it's fun, because all the masters like Jesus and others, they said you have to be like a child to enter in the kingdom of heaven, and the kingdom of heaven is your heart. There's no overthinking. Many people, they are spiritually overthinking, and we just have fun from the space of the heart, and then miracle happens.
Yeah. For example, if I would go through something like a person X goes through missing of love, missing out of love from the parents, do all these conditioning, do the trauma of their own parents, not really feeling loved and feeling kind of empty. And when they come to one of your retreats or workshops and they are open for this healing, so is it important initially to feel wholeness, or how does it work in steps?
Yeah,
Because I still feel it might be for someone that is listening right now, what is it? I would like to grasp it, like maybe to explain it in a way that
yeah,
someone that is totally new with this
yeah.
to understand.
Yeah, I will give you an example, and I want to give you a definition that for me I love that I love this quote. It's like a quote. They said, "Truth will set you free, and lies will make you a believer." And a lot of people, they believe that they're suffering. They believe that it was a person who left them and now they're alone. The example I give them all the time is like, imagine a tree, okay? We are part of the tree, and you and me are a branch, right? You're one branch and another branch, but we together are the tree. Let's say that you fell in love with another branch, and that branch, for different circumstances, he decides to go away. And you say, "Oh, I'm so lonely." No, if you look at the tree with this pure consciousness or its life, you can never be alone. You're surrounded with life because you are life. But we are looking for our substitutes. Let's say, if I am life, if I am pure love, if I have everything, I make a substitute in another branch, and then I say, no, he's gonna give me what I'm denying to myself. You see? The
Yes.
love you're denying to yourself, you're gonna actually demand the other person, hey, you have to give me this. And then we have this kind of toxic relationships or unconscious relationships. And another thing, the person that I like the most to project energy on is my mom. My mom doesn't believe in this at all. And the other day, Kenzie, she has arthrosis in the shoulder.
Hmm.
She couldn't even go farther than here. And she left my house clapping and saying, "What is this?" And I said, "Mom, you don't need to know. You just have fun." She was so impressed to see that she can heal in, I think it was 3 minutes, when the doctor said that it's going to be chronic and she's going to be forever in pain. So again, my mother believed what the doctor said, and I dissolved those beliefs. I know me, life through me, or life through the practitioners who are practicing the Tibetan Energetics, which is Ripa Energetic Healing, Dharma Shamanic System, and Tibetan Holograms Organic Flow. The three systems, that's why we say Tibetan Energetics, because the root is from Tibet.
Yeah. So actually, your mom was not believing in it, but you believed in it. You believed in that flow of life in you, and you actually kind of transmitted it to
Even,
her. Am I saying this right? Or
even if for fun, I don't believe in anything. My mother
yes.
doesn't believe in me, in, in the healing that I'm doing, but she did believe that she was sick. So she comes
Mm,
to my place where there is non-belief at all. There is just, direct experience. Because if you have a belief, if a second hand knowledge, you go from somebody else, because you believe in something. I don't believe in anything. I experience everything firsthand. For example, people, they told me, hey, then you don't believe in God. No, I don't believe in God, but I experience 24/7 what you call God. But for me, it's not an idea,
mm,
because an idea is dead. You see? The energy is alive. Your feelings, they're alive, they're here, right? So my mother came, she touched that space, her belief dissolved that she was sick, and then she can move like a, she was even clapping. She said, I feel better than 20 years ago, and she's 70. So you see, that's the fun of it. I encourage people, don't believe in anything, or at least if you want to believe, because you're addicted to belief, at least choose the ones that they are useful. They're gonna actually make your life better. But I'd rather not have any belief.
but this really touched me when you said, I don't believe, I experience it. Like, I don't believe in God, but I experience whatever you might call God or whatever the life energy experiencing. Wow. Um, Jose, what is actually your story of? I know it a little bit. I have read about it, but the audience would be also curious about what is your story that you ended up at this moment of time giving these workshop courses, wrote 10 years ago this book, Be Happier Than Dalai Lama, latest book, or Are You Ill? Congratulations. What happened in your life that you came to points, the pivotal moments that you started shifting to more experiencing life?
Yeah, sometimes I have problems talking about my bio or where I'm coming from because I'm just here, you see,
Yeah.
and then I have to overthink and or try to. I remember my publisher when I was writing my first book. He said, "You have to send us a bio, like a description, where you're coming from." I remember my bio was this. Apparently, I was born. Apparently, I'm still alive, and apparently, I haven't died yet. That was my bio, and the publisher was laughing and said, "No, we need more." And then I explained a little bit what is interesting. So basically, to make a summary, to make it relatable, when I was 19 years old, I was so desperate that I want to kill myself, basically, but not in a traditional way, like cutting the veins or hanging myself up. It was more surfing big wave, try to have an epic death. And then I remember one day I was surfing in the morning. It was a different day because I felt that somebody was listening to me. And I was in the ocean at 6 o'clock in the morning, and it was no one there, just me. And then I was crying, and I said, "Hey, if there is something else there, and actually say without belief, because I don't want to believe in anything. Can you show me that path? Because I wanna put my life there. If I have to die, I will die looking in that path." And next day or 2 days after, I found a poster of a Buddhist conference called "How to Deal with Your Intense Emotions" or something like that. And I went there. It was a lama. He was in his 70s. Lama Sanje was his name. He started to talk, and the first thing he said, "Hey, don't believe anything I say, because if you do believe what I'm saying, you're gonna be hurt. So explore these practices." So I started to explore these practices. I feel some changes, and from all these changes, I wanted to continue. Then I became friends with these lamas, and I went even with them to the Himalayas to learn more. To a point that I felt so transformed and so different that I started to help my closest friends, family, and then I started to go for big audience, like 200, 300 people, and having these miracle experiences. And now, through this Tibetan Energetics, we have been having more than thousand and thousand and thousand of people from different backgrounds, and everybody is happy because it's very simple. We have people from different religions, from different backgrounds, cultural, race, and they came, and they feel fine because we're talking about what is essential is pure consciousness, very simplified, like for kids, and people they connect with this because all the religions are talking about this, all the spiritualities are talking about this. And this way, energetically, I insist always, because if a path having have in consideration the energy, there's something missing, because energy is everything. What we call God is energy, right? It's not an
Yeah.
idea. If I have an idea, I will be like the Inquisition back in the day. So you have to behave like this because it's an idea. No, energy. We can feel love. We can feel fear, right? So energy is there. Um, I don't know if I answered the question, but something like that.
You did, like, also we are having now a conversation, we have an exchange of words, but we also have actually maybe even more an exchange of energy, and
Exactly.
that is like not visible, but that's feelable. We feel that,
Oh,
both of us.
and I'm gonna.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
whenever the energy of one of the person changes, we can feel that too. So it's actually a dance between the two constantly. So if you, for example, come across someone that is in a state of anger or revenge or whatever, if you also tend to change that your energy into that, then there's even more anger. But if you actually keep the energy, maybe you're already having peace, there might be a big possibility, that the energy of the other person also changes because your energy is different. But what were you going to say?
Yeah, for example, I remember I have a woman that she was very sick, and she have the same sickness from her mother, from her grandmother, from her grandmother. She was repeating the same patterns. And I told him, okay, do you know that your surname have energy around, and that energy that is around brought you to these energetic fields where you're gonna experience the same like your ancestors, future generations, and so on. And she said, okay, it makes sense. And I told her, can I dissolve that energy? And she said, yeah. So we dissolved her name and the surname. And right on the spot, she didn't feel anymore these chronic pains she was having. And not only that, but the doctor, they were shocked to see how she was, without an explanation, transforming in a very healthy being. So you see, everything is energy.
Yeah.
Everything.
Wow. That's amazing. So, Jose, I want to talk actually a bit about the programming. I want to ask you questions about that. So, Dr. Bruce Lipton says, for example, until the age of 7 years old, we are all programmed because our brainwave is on theta brainwave. Everything what we get from the environment, parents, teachers, anyone, we are actually uploading that in our system. And after 7 years old, when we are just shifting into the beta brain waves, we are actually being constantly that child until 7 years old. But there are a lot of things that we learn, that we upload there, that are actually eventually not helping us in our lives. Are we able from that programming to deprogram ourselves? And if yes, how are we able to deprogram of ourselves, deprogram all the limiting beliefs?
Yeah, true. Actually, I admire and respect a lot of Bruce Lipton. For me, I don't read any more books, but the only books I'm having sometimes some looks is Bruce Lipton books. I mean, he's the best. He's very clear, and it's true. I mean, when you're a child, you're getting so much input as programming. I remember my little nephew when he was just a baby. My sister was saying, "Hey, David, David," and he didn't care about his name. You see him; he was in the space. He was so happy, and all of a sudden he believed his name. Say, "Hey, that David," and he looks. He said, "What?" And then poof, you see he is in this bubble of energy, which now I'm separated from the tree and separated from life. Therefore, I have to live my life as a body and as a character. And then she started to go through this painful, let's say, life. Like Buddha said, this is like a samsara wheel and never-ending suffering. But we have options. You see, we are here. You can be free, free to be free, or free to be an slave. And you decide a slave of what? Of your programming. Yes, you can deprogramming, but first you have to know which programs. Secondly, being willing to let it go, because yeah, I could know, but I'm not willing to let go. Why? Because if I let them go, since I've been living with this programming as a guide, as a master, now I feel that it's not safe to live without programming. Then you have a programming defending another programming, and then more sus programming, all defending, and then you create this defense against the truth. You see, I give them all the time tools and energetic ways to dissolve all this programming, and they're going down like domino effect, and it's very fast, and it's a lot of fun to do those practices. But you have to realize and be willing to let it go, and then be
So,
aware that more defenses of the program, because the ego for me is a system, it's a program system who is based on program and sub programs who are all the time tricking us and play defending each other.
So one limiting belief that you might hold on to might help another belief to kind of survive. That's why you don't want to let go. Like, it's maybe even an addiction because it was a habit that you kept doing and doing again. But the first step, you're saying you have to be aware
Yeah,
that is actually impeding you, that is not helping you to move forward,
yeah,
but it is just limiting you. So once you are aware and once you actually say, I want to let go. Almost like, I want to quit smoking, but you have smoked for 20 years long. You did smoking, but in 20 years long, maybe you kept saying to yourself, I'm not lovable. I'm not lovable. I'm not lovable. You didn't say it this way, but in all these experiences, what would you say to what is a way, what you would have practiced, maybe what you teach to really through life, through that tree, what you were saying, to the branches to let go.
yeah. You know, the main and more fundamental problem is that people believe I have me as a character, as a little branch. I have to deprogram me. No, you can't. You can try techniques, and then the program will be softer. I mean, instead of having an impact of 90% in your life, you do a technique, maybe it will be there for 70%, but it's still there. Even to a point of 50, 40, 30, but still the root is alive, is ready to create more in the future, more programs. You see? What can we do to ask the three? Pure consciousness is where a lot of people they miss. Not you, but deliver it to the source. Because you have two options. Okay, I have a problem, and the ego will come. Oh yeah, yeah, give it to me because I'm actually that's how the ego operate. I'm gonna help you with the problem, and I will create more problems on the way. I'm gonna solve like side effects, like medicine. You take one pill, and now your kidney and the brain, but now you're not coughing, but you have side effects. So the ego mind is like that. Okay, I will solve this problem, but I will create more. Have you
Yes.
ever had that experience?
Yeah, of course, of course. Like, I don't know, like working on some, for example, like, meditating. I meditate for a long time, but I was like, I need to meditate and all. And then I created the problem that I was sleeping too less and became obsessed with it. And I was like, but this was not the intention of the whole thing. I'm stressed about meditating. I'm like, that was not the thing. I want to actually feel peaceful, right?
Exactly. So that's a very good example. So it tells you right on the spot, I will solve the problem, but I will create even more important problems. You see,
Mhm.
and then you have another option. Is where people miss out, or they don't. I mean, they are distracted. Is go into your heart where your inner fountain is, the space, pure consciousness is there. Hey, you know what? Since I don't know how to solve this, there you go. You give it away to it, you deliver it to it, and it's going to be transformed. Because that energy is the one who create planets, create stars, create life. And humans, we only create problems. No, we cannot create life. Well, supposedly, you can have a baby, but it's not yours. It's a baby that belongs to life. So you see, you cannot solve or deprogram from the character who is part of the program. You are like a hologram character in an illusion simulator, you see? So how can you, as an illusion, solve something that is in the engine? You see, is in the core. Only the creator, only life, if we call it, you can call it God, you can call it universal consciousness, can access there and say, okay, see, I said, ask and it's going to be given. You ask for it, click, it's gone.
Mm. So if you say only the creator, and but if the creator is also in us, are we also creators?
We are that. There is no creation
Yeah.
for me. You are what you're looking
Yeah.
for.
Yes.
We
So actually,
it's like you're playing a video game and you saw
yeah.
the video game and you forgot that you're the player. You believe you are the avatar. And then you say,
Hmm.
oh, is there a player and me? Only player, because you don't even exist and your problems don't exist. Only the player. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So actually, with that limiting with that limiting belief, really connecting to that energy, either God, either pure consciousness, pure love, joy, bliss, whatever you want to call it, no name, and really give it to it, she, he, and then surrendering to that power that gave life, that brought you into life.
Exactly. So imagine for a moment that a branch on the tree get a cut, get hurt, and it try to fix herself by going to the rest of the branches. Can you help me with this? And they try to do something in the physical form. But let's say that the
Mhm.
branch it didn't get these programs like us, and said, you know what, tree, I'm hurt. Can you take your time and give me some healing? And all the branches, all the trees, everything is gonna take care of that branch who is hurt. The same to you. If something happened to you and you give it to the tree will come and it will give you the healing that you need. It will give you the projects, the people that you need, the connections, even relationships, because they are in the tree. You ask the tree which ones are the right ones. You see,
Mhm.
don't try all the time to connect with my programs to another programs, and then there is a relationship based in our programs. So we're gonna have some, let's say, as you see, people nowadays stay for a few weeks, a few years, and then the love is gone because it's just programming, meeting each other. It's like holograms meeting each other. There is not the real thing.
Yeah. Yes. So the wisdom is actually then also in our hearts. And if we have in our hearts a tree full of wisdom, full, the whole tree, how do we access in our daily life when we are also in our routine, bringing kids to school, going to work, I don't know, doing grocery shopping, all these things? How do we access that wisdom and download that information, not only giving the limiting beliefs to that energy, but really download new information that is coming to us from our heart, from that energy that is invisible, but yet the creator of life?
Wow, I love that question. There is two ways of living. I can live from my programming mind. So every time when I look live, I see my filters having an interpretation of what is going on. What we call normal people, or people who listen little voices in the head, and they when they see another person who doesn't have these voices, say, "Oh, he's crazy." It's like this crazy world. What we consider normal is to be so programmed. So the more programmed you are, the more special you are, basically. And we try to access to the wisdom through this programming. No, you're gonna only access to, let's say, intellectual concepts, which is okay. But if you wanna go deeper, and Rumi and others said, the knowledge is in the stars, as a reference of heaven, which is here in the heart, is by dropping yourself into your heart. Is what all my teachings are based, and living 24/7 from there. Once you touch pure consciousness 24/7, energetically and as a direct experience, all this programming start to melt down and dissolve. Why? Because they don't have your attention anymore. Remember, you're a creator. Where you put your energy, that becomes alive. And now, what is becoming alive is liveness. It's a life. It's a liveness itself. It's everything. So that's why when people, for example, they go for a retreat, they most of the time they're here, depending on the teaching. Some others they encourage to be even harder here, but here, and then they have this impact, and then when they get back to the real, as they call the real life, which is the opposite, the program life, they start to forget because all these programs they try to fight and to remove that information, say no, 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 forget about this. Now the children in the school, this, and that. What I teach is no, be here, you know, and when you're here in your heart space, go with your kids, go to work, and it's gonna be different because you're not gonna be stressed out. You're gonna enjoy a taste every moment. When you look at your kids in the eyes, you're gonna see what colors the eyes are. Sometimes I treat people that don't even know what colors of the children's eyes are. You see, people they just program to live like this, and in the heart, no, 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 everything is slowed down, but it slowed down in a conscious way. Oh my God, I didn't notice before these flowers. I didn't notice before the smile of my child. I didn't notice before how lucky I am to be alive. You see, you start to appreciate little things. In the programming mind, you run, you run, you run. It's not enough, and you're trapped in this space of, like a rat. Try to chase somewhere in a wheel. Yeah, you can live from your heart, from the space of your heart, and it's basically what I teach and all the core of my seminars.
Yeah. So, like, how do you do that? How do you drop in your heart? For example, especially when you have a week going on with a retreat, you need to be there for others with your teachings energetically and mentally. You need to be there. Like, for example, you're having a seminar on November 2nd, 3rd online, when you're going to be there, you're going to prepare everything. But that day, how does it look like that you drop in your heart? Is it like you wake up, you do a meditation on your heart, or what is it? What can we do? Because what you said is right. We are humans. We forget after a retreat or after whatever we have done. Like, we just go back and then we fall back into our routines. What do you do?
Okay. In my case, since I live 24/7, I don't need to prepare. I just, for example, today I was drinking a coffee, preparing some breakfast, and then, oh, I have this, and I place myself in front, and then I allow life to unfold the event. You know, otherwise I would be okay.
Mm. You allow life to unfold the event.
Yeah.
This is
I,
profound.
I encourage people, for example, let's say that, if you're listening to this, you have a financial problem. Let's say you're lacking some money. You- Do this. Hey, life, I give it to you, this problem. Breathe in, breathe out, let go. You're going to be so peaceful that you're going to allow the flow of abundance enter in your life that it was blocked because you were too worried. You see?
Mm.
So the same. So imagine, Oslo, you're going to have a conference with 700 people. You're going to notice immediately how the programming starts to activate. Oh my God, so many things. But what about if I tell you, breathe in, hold it, breathe out, drop yourself into your heart, meaning place your awareness around your chest area, middle chest, and stay there resting. You're going to go that immediately, or just take a few seconds to the program to be more relaxed, because now your awareness is here. Can you feel it?
Yeah. Yeah. I do it
Even,
also with
even
heart
now,
math
when you
techniques, but yeah.
when you talk, it's different, and the silence.
Yes. So, we will actually talk also more about the retreat, online retreat you're going to give in November 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah.
Before we go there, I would like to actually talk a little bit about the mirrors we are having in our lives, either our kids, our relationships, colleagues, co-workers, the people in the grocery store. So how are our relationships, and especially intimate relationships, your partner, um, how are they important resources for us to really get to know ourselves?
Yeah, that's an amazing question. When we relate to people, they are mirrors where we can see what we cannot see by ourselves. Is maybe it's repressed or maybe it's hidden. Let's say if you live by yourself, you say, "Hey, my life is fantastic because I do what I want, this and that," and then you meet somebody, and then you start to feel probably jealousy, and you start to feel sometimes the need of controlling. Before you didn't see these, let's say, programs that were there, but that person as a mirror is telling, "Hey, here you have." And this mirror, they will come, by opposition to reflect the opposite of what you are, or the same, you know. Let's say you are a perfectionist, and then you see another perfectionist, and you start to, oh, look at this, and then you see, oh, I'm criticizing what I have inside. Or you are a very organized person, and you see the opposite, a person who is not organized at all, and you start to criticize what you judge, because you want now the world to be like you. So we have so many hidden in the subconscious mind, that the more we see this, especially in family, you see these mirrors, you can actually clean on the program, as I said before. First, you need to know which programming, and then, oh, I didn't know you were there, boom. And then just by start consciously watching at them, we start to open the door for the healing of the programming.
So actually, a relationship, intimate relationship, would be a big opportunity for all of us for healing.
Exactly, but it's gonna be a moment, because I say that to people, and they tell me, yeah, I am with a very abusive person, and I say, okay,
Mhm.
then you learn that you need to love yourself more, and that abuse is because you're also abusing of yourself. You're not treating you well. Then maybe it's time to move away, because that abusing person, yeah, he did his purpose, he did his job, is to telling you, hey, don't stay there. Or even with some domestic violence, or people being physically abused. No, enough of the teaching, because it's telling you to go away. And when these people, especially women who, let's say, they were mistreated when they were younger, and they attract these kind of guys, because these guys, they come because of the energy. They change that, and now they're not looking for these guys anymore. They're looking for more tonic, loving people instead of toxic people. See, so at the end, thanks to those mirrors, we can see the toxicity or the fear programs that they are there. So it's a good opportunity.
Would you also say, instead of looking, because they have changed their energy by deciding each time differently, like, okay, this time this guy is teaching me actually to love myself, leave him. And by being in another energy field, they attract also other type of guys, instead of years long, the same type that were maybe abusive, emotionally, either physically. So, but I also think, for many people in the world, uh, like, that is the difficult part. The easy part is blaming others, judging them. How are they not good, or treating you not well, or whatever, doing not what you want, la la la, all these things. But really going inside to heal and to kind of really feel that wholeness in you, it also takes courage, I believe, because it's changing the program.
Exactly. Plus, the ego program have a defense, or a trap, like saying, "Hey, don't ever take your time to look within. Be there distracted in the world and trying to find, in images or in people, happiness, and it sells you an idea, but you don't have time to look within, is where um, all the abundance, all the everything that you think is missing is there, but you're looking outside. So yeah, it takes a lot of courage, because the mind, it doesn't like at the beginning that you're watching within. You see, this is for brave people who want to transcend fear. Yeah, but once you do it, it's gonna be pure gold. You're gonna start feel so content and joyful with your life, because now you don't depend on circumstances or on people. You're just joyful no matter what.
Do you think we need to really go through heartbreaking events, maybe even illnesses, or really like events that have tremendous effect on our uh, mental health, but also our heart, in order to actually maybe to choose, now I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, I'm choosing this way? Do you think it's important, the event, to have, not that we are saying we are praying, oh, God or anyone, just make me ill or just give me this heartbreak, but what are the importances of these pivotal events?
Yeah. What happened is, Some people they need like a shock, like a big shock, an illness, as you said, you know, like somebody break your heart or some kind of impact. Some others don't. They're so clear. Hey, you know what? Enough. Boom. They don't need to go through that. Life, since it's universal intelligence, it will give you the right amount of symptoms or experiences in order for you to wake up to say, stop of this.
Mm.
I'm gonna start living in oneness with life, no in opposition or in separation. So that's why, depending on the how attached people are to the illusion, the stronger the symptom will come. Let's say like that. But let's say not everybody has to have like a big issue in your life in order to wake up.
Yeah. So, Jose, the book, the latest book that you wrote, Are You Ill? Congratulations. Does the title does two things with me. When I was 16, I have been diagnosed with a illness which had a tremendous effect of my life, and I just chose to put it under the rug
Mhm.
for a long time, under the carpet, not facing it and all, compensating it with performing, achieving all these things, in order to feel I'm whole, I'm whole, I'm whole. And then I think 3-4 years ago, I started opening up with this. Um, and then I felt, wow, there's so much grief that I have not processed at all, and so much sadness, so much whatever that was. I decided to just have fun or perform or achieve or whatever, all these things. And now I can say, after 23 years, I'm grateful that I was diagnosed with that when I was 16. Back then, listen, I was everything but grateful. I was like, why me? Why does it happen to me? What did I do? I didn't do anything wrong. Why? And like this why became made me a fighter, which also brought me at many places. I mean, it was also a good thing, but it was also not a good thing because I was sometimes fighting till I was dying, like, like burning myself out. But it took 23 years. And now people hearing that, maybe they are going through a severe disease, they go maybe through cancer or any other illness that we don't even know about. Why congratulations?
Because now, if you read the book and you understand that the sickness that you have is not a punishment, it's not karma, it's not something negative that life gives you, but a blessing, then you learn from it. You're gonna transform your life, and when you heal, you're gonna be even happier, even healthier than before. Is what I helping to people. I'm doing to people. People they come to me crying, "Oh, I have this cancer, this and that." Then I ask a few questions. We go through the energy healing, and then after, oh my God, I'm so fortunate because to tell you the truth, before I didn't even have time for myself. I was living, putting others in front of me. I didn't even recognize myself anymore, and now I'm back to myself. For example, and that person healed a cancer that it was very advanced. So you see, it doesn't matter what you have. Once you listen to it, if the audience is listening, just stop for a moment, drop yourself into your heart, connect with the symptom, and say, "What can I learn from you? Is there anything I should change in my life thanks to you? Please, I'm open to learn from you." And you're gonna be amazed how fast you start to heal because you're not fighting. You see, imagine I give you a gift, with a nice, let's say, like colorful and so on, and you start to hit it. No, I don't want it. And I said, yeah, but open it. And the sickness is the same. Oh, an opportunity to have honesty in your life. Honesty
Mm,
is the bridge from where you are to freedom, from where you are to healing, to enlightenment. You see, but we are not. You see, we are not honest.
yeah.
And then if you're sick, you have to be honest. Hey, how did I end up here? Okay. I forgot about my dreams. Okay. I start to live out of excuses, out of fear. I didn't even recognize myself anymore. I was even, living my life like a robot. Okay, now I have the opportunity, thanks to this, to change. Therefore, when you do that, the sickness start to dissolve and disappear because it's just energy who comes to help you. You see?
Or you're just going to distance yourself from yourself and say, deny it, like what I did for a long time, and just do everything else than connecting with that source, with that feeling.
Exactly.
And even to go deeper, years later, just 1 year ago, I realized also, for me, I mean, that's my belief, that's why my experience, I have created that. I'm not saying I blame myself, I'm guilty, I'm not saying that, but well, what happened just created that diagnose, that disease on the age of 16.
Yep.
And I take full responsibility, and I'm again grateful, really, truly grateful.
Yeah, that required a lot of consciousness to do that. But yeah, we do this even unconsciously. I'm going to give you two examples. A woman who saw the mobile phone of his boyfriend, and he was saying that she was about to break up with her, and
Mhm.
she was able to create a cancer. She created a cancer in order to have him there, taking care of her, and she discovered during the process when I was treating her, hey, are you using this cancer for something? And she said, yo, thanks to this cancer, this is happening. And now I don't want to get hit because he's gonna leave me. And I said, yeah, she's gonna leave you no matter what, you see? But he's here because you're sick and you're wasting your time. He's wasting his time. Sometimes I talk to people like this. I say, okay, I'm gonna forget about him. I'm gonna start to connect with the love that she have here,
Mhm.
and a few months after, she healed. So you see, we can create even for example pain not to go to work. I hate this place, and they say this
Mhm.
place make me sick. We even say that.
Mhm. Mhm.
So it's a way of adjusting yourself to congruency. Why I am in a place that it make me sick and I hate it. Maybe in my heart there is like a project that life can benefit, not in an office hating my job that maybe some other people will go and enjoy, but I'm not. I'm getting sick, and I created sickness in order not to go there.
Yes. Yes. Actually, I think this is a great example of limiting belief defending another limiting belief.
Exactly.
Just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
creating it. So, let's talk a little bit about love. So, if we are love, and if we are actually denying that we are love, that it's in us, and if we look at love, for love in other people, for example, in a relationship, like that guy, that woman, whatever, why are we ultimately going to hurt ourselves and maybe also the other person, because we are seeking love in the other instead of in us?
It's what we talked before. If I deny the love that I am, if I forget that, I'm gonna look for another person to give me what I'm denying to myself. Therefore, I want to create a hell because that person cannot give you the love that you have inside. And then all these programmings they will start to run, and it's gonna be like instead of love, it's gonna be more like attachments. Attachment is fear. It's like, okay, since I know this person is gonna give me happiness, I depend on him. If he's okay with me, I feel okay. But he's not okay with me, and then you're depending on somebody who is out there. Sooner or later, life will give you something. Could be I don't know some issues, some signs, or even a sickness. In order to stop that, you see, first you connect with the tree within you, and then you connect with the rest of the branches. That's the real love. That's a conscious relationship. The other thing is programming, just moving and attachments, and then you see how fast love dissolves on the process. I see people, for example, some of my friends. Oh, I saw in love with this woman. They start to post in a few days in Facebook and everywhere, And 3 weeks after, they hate each other. Why is that? Again, the programming.
So if we have the love in ourselves, right? We just know we are love, we are unconditional love, we are unconditionally loved. Like how like how could we be capable or experience true in integrity unconditional love towards others? Like I, for honestly, like from my own experience, I feel it for my parents, for my siblings, for my niece, for my nephew. I feel it fully. And I also teach part time at school. I feel it for all the kids there, unconditional. Okay, I'm sometimes upset, but I feel it fully. But I think with a partner, all these previous experiences have been really difficult, even though I wanted to believe in it. There was always like, what do I get there? The love part. And as I said about being the word sick and I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of that. I'm like, hey, this is going to change. And even not for that person, like for me, like, hey, it's here, Özlem. But how is it? What is your experience? I would love to hear your viewpoint on that.
Okay, let's say that back in the days, I was looking for what I was denying into myself in relationship, and that was all of them end up really badly. And then I connect with that love that is within us. It's like the tree, and then I started just to feel just love and respect for what I was. Like before, I was all the time looking for what it was wrong in me. This is wrong, this is wrong, and then it was a pure acceptance experience. Like, yeah, this is the way it is. Okay, fantastic. Is there anything to prove? But on the way, I'm gonna be aligned with my inner joy. Yes, this is it. Out of joy. Okay, fantastic. And then I love my family. You see, I'm using the term "my" in my seminars. I told them not to use "my" because it doesn't exist in the universe. The Aboriginal shamans, they don't have in the vocabulary the "my," right? Because the "my" is in the whole branches of the tree, this group of branches, I love them because I believe they're my family. What about open the spectrum to expand all your love to all the branches? Hey, the same love I'm feeling for my family, I'm gonna, spend it out to the whole planet and everybody in my this planet. They're my brothers and sisters, like Master. They said, the tree is my father, the tree is my mother, the tree is the real family taking care of the kids. Boom, that's it. Because now there is no special love condition because you're my family. What happened if that uncle of you, it was not your family? It would be a random person that, another one that is not love, all in my family. It's expanding that love to the rest, like in a playful way. Hey, what about if this feeling that I'm having for my son, I'm going to spread it all over by breathing in, breathing out, send it out. That when you look around, you love everybody unconditionally, and even your family,
Mm,
what you call your family. Because before it was not unconditionally, they're your family, or they told you they're your family. But what
yeah.
about the rest?
Wow. Expanding, radiating that feeling that you already have
Yeah,
towards everyone.
yeah,
So, in one of your conversations, on a podcast conversation, you said the three biggest toxic behaviors we are involved in. Actually, not the toxic behaviors, fear is seeking external validation, controlling, and seeking security.
yes,
So, let's go to the external validation, like to be liked, to be loved, or whatever. We do a lot of things. Actually, what we just talked about, also the relationship part. How do we let go of external validation? My colleague, the person in the grocery store, my neighbor, uh, Jose at this moment, what I am talking to right now, or Özlem, or whatever, your assistant.
yeah. Before I go into the question, Do you know how many people they die every year trying to get a special selfie in the middle of a cliff, in the middle of a dangerous place, in order to have external validation after in social media? Around 200 people they die
Wow.
trying to get, you see. So external validation is something so big, so people can even risk their life to try to get it. And it's very simple. Since we're children, you can be probably missing some validation from your parents, from your family, for siblings or people around you, teachers, and now you're looking as an adult, as a program, uh, from I know people use a lot of social media for that, or of doing things for that, or external validation. That is what is running the program of the ego. Is a very fundamental battery to run the whole system. That's why we're looking for what we didn't get when we were children. Now, as adults, we're looking for external validation. But if I'm projecting that outside and I start to, again, I go back into my heart, I stay there, I start to feel the energy. That energy start to be part of me. I start to restore and dissolve all this programming. And then when I start to live my life, I'm not looking anymore for external validation. I will dress the way I like, not because you like it or it's a fashion. It's different because you're free from that. Or for example, when I have a big audience, I go in front of them. I'm not looking for external validation. That's why everybody feels free, and they actually say that during the event. Hey, I feel so free here because you're not saying we need to believe in this or that, and then I cannot be nervous. I cannot be because I don't have expectation from the audience. You see, and then they feel equal, and therefore we create this space like a cup of tea with your inner Buddha. All of a sudden, in 3 hours, miracles start to happen, explosion of joy, energy, and nobody can explain how this is possible, but it's possible because everybody is here sharing from the tree. And then there's no external validation. The validation is already here because I'm alive, I'm part of the wholeness. So that is enough validation.
So again, connecting actually with the internal energy.
All the answers, they are related to that.
Yeah. So also the controlling part, because if you trust that internal energy, you don't need to control because you trust I'm with the right person at the right time at the right place, or I'm with myself at the right time at the right place, wherever I am, whatever I am doing.
Exactly. The program of the ego use the need of controlling because control means I don't trust life, I don't trust the tree, therefore I have to do it myself. Therefore, acting as a master of fear, as a guidance or as a guide, I start to, to live my life. And when you let go of the control, another sub program will come and will tell you, hey, it's dangerous to live without control, and then you need to do another deprogramming. And therefore, you start to have to trust life a little bit more, and then that becomes faith. And Jesus, another master, said, if you only have a little bit of faith, the mountains they will move. Meaning, challenges, problems, everything is gonna dissolve like this. Because faith means I know life knows more than me, and I can deliver it to life, everything, and then I'm gonna be living life with life together, not as life and me who is afraid of life. You see, so
Yeah.
that's why the ego is all the time occupying yourself with controlling.
Yeah. So, Jose, is self discovery one of our number one duties in life?
I would say yes. If your number one priority is discover yourself, discovering means to remove the layer or the veil and look what is there. That would be the number one cause of happiness, real happiness. There is no other way around. If you're not doing that already, no matter what you do, at the end of the day, you will never be happy or joyful. You will be probably having things or collecting things, and therefore you are in the more I have, the more I am. You see,
Mhm.
the more I do, the more I am. That's why when we ask people, "Hey, who are you?" They tell you what they do. You see, no, it's what is beyond the doing, in the being, you see. And when you self-discover yourself, you enter there, say, hey, I don't need to run, I don't need to do a lot of things in order to be seen, because I am the eyes of the universe.
Yes. Yeah, it's also actually about the habits. When I was in Barcelona last summer, I met up with my neighbor and we were walking for an ice cream and I said to him, "What do you do?" And then I caught myself when he answered. He said, "Actually, I'm just me. I don't In the past I like talking about my job and all what I all do, and I'm just being here in life." And I was like, wow, maybe I should stop asking that question also to connect from a deeper level. So Jose, this was so amazing, so much valuable information here, and I'm sure people that are listening here, they would just think maybe, hey, I would join a workshop or a retreat. And I know your retreats are very popular, they are booked, they are full booked, but you're having on November 2nd, 3rd a weekend an online training. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an event called A Course of Miracles from exoteric perspective, the energetic way, a meditational way to explore the Course of Miracles. It's going to be like a master class, but at the same time, very simple. This is something that I'm doing already in Spain, in Spanish, and people that are amazed because some people that were studying the Course of Miracle for 15 years and they didn't even know how was to surrender to the Holy Spirit or this divine energy. And now they are amazed because this is about meditation and feeling the energy of the Course. So it's going to be something like that.
So are you saying it's going to be in Spanish?
No, this one is going to be in English online.
In English, okay. This is going to be in English
Yeah,
online.
I think the
For
easier thing, because I don't want to talk about events, is to maybe to probably put the website and people if they're interested
Yes.
check, and then we can have a normal conversation instead of talking about events.
Okay. So we will put it actually in the episode notes also how people can find you, how they can register for the weekend. And I also know that in March you're just coming to Amsterdam again, March 2025 live. You will be there. Jose, muchísimas gracias. Really, from the heart, thank you. I really, really appreciate it. Um, Really, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
No, thanks to you to contact me, and it was very easy, very joyful. Thank you so much for that.